Good morning. Test, test. Now, a lot of people have told me that they like the sound of when I'm doing the show like this without any headphones at all. And I don't know. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Hey, Karen. Hey, Shazam. Hey, AJ. AJ, my good buddy. Everyone's my good buddy, really. Just want to know if the sound is better like this or if it's better with headphones, because the afternoon show, they said this was better. Hey, Deb. Hey, Thought Police. Yeah, all right, we're good, huh? Okay. So Teresa's a little late. She hit a little snag. No biggie. Nothing happens in God's world by mistake. And so there's never any pressure to like I want like if you guys want to like try to like come up and help and stuff like that to try. And if anything goes wrong, it's there's no there's no recourse to that. It's just how things go, like that was meant to happen in uh in my world, right? To help me grow, right? And so there's no mistakes. And I'd rather you guys try than not try. And I think it's wonderful what she's doing for us. Good morning, Ray. I'm glad you're here. Good morning, Debbie. It's just a good day. I was trying to I gotta admit that I really needed like a study in Acts because that's the book that I have like retained the least, New Testament wise. Like it's I don't know why. I mean, it's not that I mean, I know about like the ministries, I know about Paul's time in jail and I know about everything. It's just I don't know why I don't retain certain things about it. And I think that this is a good time to do a deeper study on it. We'll try again tomorrow and have like a study on it with Theresa again and just go from like chapter one, and do a study just all the way through. What do you guys think about that? Does that sound good? Or would you guys want to do more like testimonies and stuff like that? Because I want to have more testimonies, more people that could come up. And you don't have any sound? Okay, go ahead and reset it, Cindy. Oh, she can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Okay, I'm gonna put in my headphones, guys. All right. No big deal. Wish I was more prepared for this. Okay, here we go. Let's see if that's a little bit better. At least I'm closer to the microphone. Hold on a second. Okay. Is that a little bit better, guys? What do you guys think about that? Hey, James. Oh, I'm glad to see you. Hey, Paula. Okay, so is this better right now? If this is better, then live in 3 minutes. Oh, you're still on. You have to reset. Cindy, you have to refresh it. It's better without the headphones. That's what I thought, but everyone told me to check my sound. if the headphones were better. While I drink some water. Oh my God, what's wrong with Cindy? I almost want to drop a link for her, but will she understand that if she can't hear me? It's one of those mornings, guys. Okay. Hey, AJ Blunt. That's awesome. James says, good morning, Paula, Stephen, Cindy, BB, everybody, huh? Gaining wisdom's here. I like gaining wisdom. Some of your comments are great. Hey, BB. Oh, you're not that late. You're not that late, Theresa. It's only like 2 minutes late, maybe. Not even. So we're all trying to figure out why Cindy can't Cindy can't hear anything, and she's stuck on where it says it's gonna start in 3 minutes. I know, technology, huh? Amanda Smooches, how you doing? Who's Jim? I don't know who Jim is. What's up, yo mama? Clutch. Man, we're filling up fast, man. The pressure is on. Some people, this is what's crazy, right? And I do it myself, right? And I never think of it. I used to never think of it. Now, like it's common now. I know what's going on, but sometimes, you know how like when people will go and like kind of support a live stream, they'll go and say hi and then they'll take off, you know. But it's good that they came and said a few words, you know. Like, but when you're streaming, you don't think that's what people are doing. You think people are coming in and saying hi and staying. But some people leave, you know. They just say hi and then they go, which is cool because they're showing their support, you know. And not everyone can say, but the number doesn't go up, you know. Like the number of messages goes up, but the number of people on the thing doesn't go up. And poor Cindy is stuck. She's stuck. She can't hear, and it says that it's going to start in 3 minutes, but she has a full active chat box. And so we're having one of those days today. What day even is it? Oh man, it's Wednesday, hump day. Well, I'll tell you what, the last two. So when I got home from the dentist yesterday, I was I put on a study of Acts, like the chapter one, like a tough one too, and I wanted to really get into it, you know, and I fell asleep, and then last night, like I would say, I don't know, probably like 4 in the morning, was finally finished with all my emails, and then I was gonna put on a well, I did. I put on a study of Acts, put it on, fell right to sleep, and woke up like I don't know 6:15. So I slept another couple hours, which is good for me, but it's bad for the show, you know. And so, I wouldn't say it's a disaster, you know, but it is what it is, right? Good morning, Alex G. Okay, it's all good, Cindy. Hey, Shulamite, if you want to come up, you can, and we could chat. That would be cool. We could just have a day where we just chat. Or you told me what your favorite parts of like the Book of Acts, like what you like about like, you know, how it went from going from like the risen Jesus to the spirit. That would be pretty cool, I think. But if you're still getting ready, then no worries. Hey, Thought Police, how you doing? Alex, I'm glad you made it. Okay, cool, cool. Let me drop the link. I didn't want to put any pressure on you, Theresa, at all. So let me go ahead and put the link out. That's cool. And I know that you like to talk about the Holy Spirit, so that'll be a good one. I want to do more testimonies, and even Theresa, even have you up here and help me. Interview people. I think there would be some benefit in that too for you, because that's what me and Tom used to do. We used to have people on, and we used to just like we started the channel, and then we just started to have like every truther that we knew on. We even had I don't know if you guys know Adam Meakin. We even had him on. There's Miss Scrunchy in the back watching our backs. That's good. So I dropped the link for you, Theresa, if you want to click it. Yay! There you are. Hold on a second. Welcome, Theresa. How are you doing today?
Hi, good servant. I'm here. I'm going to try and make my second pot of coffee for today. My husband works, sometimes he works 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this week is one of those weeks. And so I woke up really early and couldn't go back to sleep, and made myself breakfast and talked with my friend. I've got another friend that lives in California. She lives in Southern California. And I've already had almost a full day. So I fell asleep and I woke. I was thinking. I was thinking. How when you wake up you're kind of disoriented and whatever.
Yeah,
And I checked
I
the
do.
time. I went, oh no, I better let him know.
Well, you know what woke me up is because I don't drink coffee anymore, and I just drink water now. But I trust me, I love all that stuff. But what woke me up is I caught up on my emails before I fell asleep last night, and then I woke up and I was like kind of groggy around like I don't know I want to say like an hour ago, and I saw an email that I hadn't corresponded in 7 days, and I freaked out. Like, you know how that feeling, like where you're like, like you breathe in, like your heart sinks and everything. And I was like, oh no,
Yeah.
I didn't want to leave somebody hanging for like 7 days. But then I checked it, and it wasn't. I did a draft, and I saved it wrong. But it's weird,
Aw.
the things that make, yeah, I know, good problems to have, right? And
Right.
and so it makes things go real clear. But like,
It's
yeah,
funny that we both overslept. It's kind of weird, because
yeah,
you're hard at this. I admire your tenacity.
yeah. Well, I'll say this: it's not like this is what's crazy is like uh like for me, right? Like when I'm doing normal activities, I get tired. Like if I'm like up cleaning up or doing like just normal everyday stuff, going shopping, that stuff wears me out. But like when I'm doing this for some reason, right now, I did have a problem with sometimes like just leaning back right before the show and falling asleep for like an hour or two and then being late. But doing a show every day is hard, and I know that that's like from God, the consistency, because I never run out of energy to do it. And you would think you'd get burned out after like 6 months of two shows every day, no days off. And I don't. I just
Yes.
I love it. The hardest part I would say is meeting. I want to meet 100 people that I don't know and invite them back here. And sometimes you meet a lot of people at once in a chat, and sometimes yeah, it takes a while. I never got up to 100 yet, but that's my goal. And then, but sometimes you got to listen to some, I don't know where I start finding these channels, when I start going into like these groups of like, I don't know, it's like gossip, they gossip about each other and they make videos about each other.
I just like
And I don't know how I ended up in
I
there, but I just
God delivered
follow the
me from
people.
that.
Yes. Yes. And I'll tell
That's
you
why
what, there's,
when I said I was delivered, that's most of it. How you've got this spirit of backbiting and mean spirited, vengeful kind of. Uh,
yeah,
God
I know what you
delivered me
mean.
from that. So, and it's a guy thing too. But girls, I see it in my mom. I see it in my mom's got 4 sisters, and you know you don't think of stuff like this. Your precious aunts and your precious mom. You don't see the
Right.
negative in them, but when it's in you, you have to look at your family, and there it
Yeah.
is.
No, you're
Sorry,
right.
mom.
Like when my mom gets a new little piece of juicy information and she lights up, like can't wait to tell everybody. And I don't know what that spirit is. Like I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you what, and I used to be like that too. Like whenever I would find out, you know, something crazy, I'd be like, "Oh, I got to tell you something, but don't tell nobody." Like that was my whole spiel, right? But like in doing what I do now, like and talking to people on like a personal level, if I talked about somebody else in another conversation, right, it would really destroy what I got going on here, because all it takes is one person to get upset, and uncover all that. And so it's better to like now it's like good practice for me to like only deal with what the names that are going through the issue. And so you're right, we do get delivered from
Yeah,
that. It's weird because I know I couldn't have stopped that on my own.
it was worse than just gossip. For me, it was um, a 5-ton anchor around my neck. It was a family curse. That's how I describe it. And when it lifted, it was life saving. It was what I put myself in therapy for. Because people say things um, over a course of their life that it's like Abraham or like Isaac laying his hand on the heads of all of his sons and blessing them according to their life.
Yeah.
Each son was blessed. Well, my parents like spent a lifetime saying horrible things to me. And you can't tell me that that does not affect me. It did. And, they demonstrate behavior, which um, grinds habits and thoughts into a person. And it affected me. And no matter how much I said it didn't hurt and I didn't care, it affected me. I was
Yeah.
just like them and I didn't see it. I didn't want to say it that way because no one wants to put their parents in a bad light or their family in a bad light. But, let's be honest here. That's what was wrong with me.
Yeah.
God has been trying to show me for a long time the things I say. That's like one of the first times here, probably in the last 10 years, that I heard God's audible voice was Him correcting me. I used to road rage at people in the car, and I
Yeah.
would yell and call them names like, you moron, you idiot. They would cut you off, and that would open up a tirade of not profanity, but drive like a nut cake, you nut bag. I don't know. I can't even think of the names I used to call people, but I
Right.
did. And one day this person pulled out in front of me and they cut me off and got in the lane in front of me. And then I tried to get over in the other lane. They cut me off again, trying to get in the other lane. And I said something like, "You moron," or something like that. And I heard the Holy Ghost, in the voice of God, instantly say, "You don't know who you are talking about." I
Wow.
went, "Oh."
That's
It was
profound.
like the voice of God. I went, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." God had been trying to get my attention about the things I say and how I say them. It says, from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Yeah,
I don't know where
that's
that
scripture.
scripture is, but someone can
I think
Google it and
I
find it
think
for me.
I think it's in Psalms or in Proverbs. I
I
could
don't
be
know.
wrong
There's a
though.
lot in Proverbs. I have those marked, like Proverbs 18 says, um, life and death are in the power of the tongue.
Yeah.
And like the other day, Matthew 12, we were talking about that. Jesus said, every idle word that you utter, you will give an account for. There's an account building for all the
Oh yeah.
mean and hateful,
Yeah.
stupid things you say.
Absolutely. That's why I try to tell people
Now
why I'm
we
so
can,
careful, Get like when people hear that I say a lot of like yes and I knows and that kind of stuff, and I know that it's annoying, right? But like I'm
Mhm.
like very careful about what I say, because here I'm talking about God publicly, and I take it very serious, like because I used to be a talker, just talking for no reason, and you're right, we're gonna give an account for all of that, and I know I'm gonna feel so ashamed that day, that while I'm looking forward to seeing
yeah, I'm
God,
going to mute you for 1 second.
Sure. Oh, you're taking a little break? Yeah, go get some coffee.
No, I got it. I have
Oh.
a giant ninja blender and it makes a lot of noise.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. You can go on mute if you want. It's up to you. Want me to mute you for a
No, I
minute?
did.
Oh, okay. Oh,
I
you
wanted
did
to
it.
tell
Okay.
you when I first, yeah, I wanted to tell you when I first came on, you were saying, "Teresa, I want to help you with something." And then I clicked over into StreamYard and then I couldn't hear anything else that you said because I was trying to get into StreamYard.
Oh, I was saying thank you for for you help. Like I was grateful for that you were helping me, and I didn't want to ever put any pressure on anybody.
Oh,
Because like
this is my
I want.
pleasure. Honestly,
Well, the reason
I
I
wanted
brought
to
it up
say
like
that,
that. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, no, it's all right. Go ahead.
Well, the reason I brought it up that way is because, like, if somebody, like, because I know that there's a lot of people that are shy, and so, like, I know you're not, but like, I say things for the benefit just in case that if someone wanted to try to come on, right, and we like planned it, and then they couldn't do it, I would rather them do that than not do it at all, And so I want people to
Yeah.
see that when something doesn't work out, that there's no pressure, no harm done, nothing, nobody's hurt, right? It's all great. And it's the effort that's appreciated. It's the intentions of our heart,
That is so,
and that kind
yes.
of thing. And see, in my
Yeah.
before all this, hit me with like 5 years ago is when my faith really started to grow, and when I really started to get serious about being a Christian. And I'd been a Christian longer than that, a lot longer, but I never would have considered all these things, right? Like all these variables I know that I never would have considered before, um, are just natural to me now, like how things are going to affect the third or fourth person involved, And I don't know if that's a gift or if that's I don't know where that comes from, but um, I just like when I try to like speak the gospel to people, right? I just want them to feel how I feel inside. I just feel this joy and this peace all the time. And and our world is in turmoil, and it's not that I don't grieve for the world,
Mhm.
because I do, on a daily basis. I think of the world, right? But personally, I feel this peace, and I just want everyone to have it, and I want everyone to feel how, like, I'm finally considerate to other people in a way that, like, is part of me now, and I don't know if I'm making any sense, but that's what I want to pass on to people that
No,
are
you
new,
are. Hmm.
So,
I think it's
you
a
know,
Holy Spirit power myself. It sounds like when you talk about your peace and your joy, and especially joy in sharing the gospel with people. I've never felt that. I've never felt um, joy or whatever sharing I mean, I've shared the gospel with people, but it's always been because someone, it's like the Holy Spirit prompted me. Someone wanted to know something, and we were in a conversation. I mean, I've tried to force myself to tell other people, and it always
yeah, it's
goes
hard.
sideways on me. It's never a smooth, it's never been a smooth transition. It's
I would
always,
even say,
forced, and it's forced.
well, I would even go
But
as
I
far
have
as
shared the.
to, like I have, like, a I don't know if it's maybe a calling, a small calling to do it, but because I know that what I got going on here is not huge in any way, but it's big to me, but um like, I do feel like a calling to do it and a joy to do it, and I get an energy to do it, but it's rarely a smooth deal ever, it's always a struggle, right, in the sense that either if somebody is, like, lost, right, they're not saved yet, right, um sometimes they won't even understand what you're saying, like, that it's like what you're saying is something absurd, because some people don't understand that once you get the gift, what's the point of obedience, right? Once you get salvation, they don't understand that you could still act right, you know. And so, in some people's minds, right, they get this. They think that because salvation's a gift, faith alone, right, that, people get saved and just do what they want. And that's like the most extreme example of somebody taking the gift of salvation and then just going to do what they want. I don't even know anybody like that, But that's where people take it before they hear it. And it's like sometimes a struggle to get them to understand it, right? And then sometimes it's like a fight because, like, um they're just apprehensive about believing it, and
Mhm.
it breaks my heart, because I know that, number one, it's not difficult. I mean, it's not easy, but it's simple, and everybody can have it, and um, especially people that are already um, good to other people, they just need to add one more component to their life. They're so close, It's heartbreaking,
Mhm.
That that's the thing about it,
Well,
like,
that gave
I don't
me
think it's ever supposed to go
made me think
smooth,
of something.
Go ahead.
Yes, that made me think of something we've already talked about was, you know, how we treat other people. We we
Yeah.
talked. We kind of touched on that a lot. Not really, but a lot. Sort of skimming by it. Um, I'm not awake yet, Stephen. My
No, that's
brain
okay.
isn't
And
firing.
no, and you're right,
Oh,
because
well, it's.
it's okay, because it's you're right. It's the other half of it, right? It's love God with all your heart, right? And then it's love your neighbor as you love yourself, right? And a lot of
Yeah,
people, they
love
take they
people.
take
Yeah.
they get that first part right, but then that second part is somehow not as important, but it is. you know? And so we get our gift of salvation, right? And it's a gift, and God has died for us, and loves us that much to want to reconcile us to that degree, right? And then and then we get to show God, gratitude and love for that, and really be good to other people, And I think that, you know, it's just a perfect balance, And but what I want people to understand is that it sounds like it would be like an effort, right? And it is sometimes, but what I get out of being good to other people and good to God is so much more than I ever put in. And so I don't know if this upside down world just has us thinking that, certain things would be a drag, when they're really a blessing. I don't know. It's weird, huh? Like how the world teaches you how to treat other people.
Well, I really never had any training on how to treat other people. I was more animalistic in my treatment of other people. In other words, if you were good to me, I was good to you. And sometimes if you were good to me and gave me what I wanted, I was using you for something that I wanted or needed. And I'm just being honest. Sorry. I
Yeah.
wasn't
No, no. A
I
lot of
wasn't
us
a
have
good
gone through
person.
that.
I wasn't what by no stretch of anyone's imagination was I a good person, nor am I a good person now. I am a redeemed person now. I am
Yeah.
that woman that was kissing Jesus' feet and wiping it with my hair, weeping over what he has forgiven me for. I was the misfit woman that they were going to stone because I was caught in adultery. They were gonna stone me to death. I'm that analogy. I'm that one that Jesus rescued by saying, which one of you rich people have not cast a sin? You cast the first stone.
Yeah.
I'm that woman at the well. I'm all of those. I was rolling in my filth and loved every minute of it. And
But you know what? You know
until
what?
I met him.
But you know what the beautiful part about that is, right? As hard as it is, right? And especially you're brave to admit that, and a lot of us, right, including me, have had hard times and struggles with things in life, right? And um, when you mention those analogies, right, about the woman at the well and the woman that's about to get stoned, right? Jesus actually comes to those people and talks to those people, right? Talks to those women. And he didn't go to like,
Yes.
the best priest or the best rabbi, or, and go hang out with them. He hung out with sinners, and it
He
seemed like they got
despised
the
the
most
super
attention.
religious.
Yes. It's amazing,
In,
because I used to
in
think that,
Matthew
like,
12,
yeah,
in Matthew 12, he calls them, you generation of vipers. How
yeah,
can you, being evil, say anything good?
yeah.
That's
And
what
I don't
he
think
said
people
about
get
the
that
super religious.
well, because I think this is what I think, right? There's a lot of people that are lost, right? That they look at God as if God is that super religious church, right? And they go, I don't want that. That's evil. Whatever they're doing is bad, right? But that's not God, Like Jesus is something totally different than, like, say like a fancy church with, fancy people wearing fancy robes. That's not of God. That's like maybe one of the biggest enemies of God. And this is the hardest part when
I
I'm
have to
sharing the
tell you, that
gospel, is
was
that
a big
people,
wake up call.
right, yes, yes, because I used to think that everyone holding a Bible had my best interest in mind, until I found out that actually, if they're rocking around holding the Bible, they probably don't have my best interest in mind. And it made me very confused about God, right? But what people don't realize is that lost person looking for like some kind of spirituality but not wanting to go to that church, right? what they don't realize is they want the same thing as us. They just don't know Jesus yet, you know? And getting them
They
to
want
look
touch
at it is
with
the hardest part.
love. They,
Yeah.
they want touched with they want touched with love. I have a brother that's an atheist. Can I tell
Yeah.
you about
Yeah, of course.
my brother?
Yeah.
My and in January he tried to commit suicide by a drug overdose. And when they found him, he was dead. He was dead and he was blue. And my cousin her mom lives a couple of doors down. She just happened to be there and she just happens to know CPR. And she started pumping on his chest and somebody called 911 and they Narcaned him and brought him back to life. And about a month later, he did it again. He overdosed on I don't know what. And my mom called me. My mom lives in Florida. I live in Kansas City, Missouri. And my brother lives in Ohio. So none of us were close to him. And the one other brother that I still have in Ohio hates everybody's guts. And so he wasn't really going to do too much for my brother that overdosed. So my mom called me and she said, your brother's in this particular hospital and they don't expect him to live because that when they found him, he was practically dead and he was blue, but they managed to revive him. He's on a ventilator. I just wanted to let you know. And I looked at my husband and I said, I cannot let the last words I've said to my brother be the last words I ever say to him. It was like with my dad, I'm getting in the car right now and I'm going. And I did that. Packed up my suitcase and it took me a couple of hours to get my affairs in order. And I hopped in my car and I went to the hospital in Ohio. I drove straight through. Security took me into the room where he was because he was in a specialized ICU unit. If there's any nurses out there, I don't know what it's called, but it was a very small unit with about 5 beds and a whole bunch of doctors looking over these 5 patients. And he was on a ventilator and it was awful. It was the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my life was him on that ventilator. And I prayed over him and I talked to him. I let him know I was there and went on to my mother-in-law's house and unpacked my car and all of that. And the next morning, as early as I possibly could be there, and they would let me in. They let me in. I came back and they let me in. And anyway, he was on a ventilator for a week. And when they took him off the ventilator, I was there. I wanted to be there when he woke up. And eventually he got out of the hospital. And we've been keeping in this. That was 2020. That was 2020 that he did that, January and February, right before all the COVID lockdowns and all of that started. He got out of the hospital. We've been keeping in touch, and my friends and I have really been praying for him because he doesn't want to hear anything about God. It sends him right into not a rage, but he'll say, I just don't believe that. I don't know why. I just don't believe that. It's all right by me if you believe that. And I guess he was even just going to church, trying to see if he could just feel God. He's like an emotionally dead soul, almost. And I talked to him the other day, and he says, I think I'm going to go and give my life to Jesus Christ. I think I'm going to believe in God. And I almost fell out of my chair. He says, don't fall out of your chair.
Yeah.
So you never know who's going to want it. You just have to.
What a great story.
You can't be pushy. You just have to be consistent.
That's it.
You just have to stick with people, no matter how much they reject you, no matter how much they reject your message. They're either, you just have to love someone that much that you're just going to put the insults aside and just stick with it. I don't know.
Well, and I'll tell you what, there are a couple of people, right, that, they're not saved yet, but like, I put in a lot of time with them, and you know, they're worth it to me. I just want them to know how much I care about them. That the reason I'm so consistent with all this stuff, is that if I didn't know these things, right, from my research, right, and from digging for the truth, right, and for having, this type of, like when you're kind of conspiratorial minded, you dig for things and you want to learn everything, right, and when you get to where you're so sure of what's true, right, and and then you start feeling the magic of it all, right? And then you're like, wow, it's happening in such a way I can't deny it. And if I can just tell these people that, yeah, the faith kind of has to come first a little bit, but you'll see for yourself, and you won't have to trust me anymore. You'll be able to trust him, And I just want that for everybody to have that security to know that, hey, I'm going to be okay. God loves me enough to fix everything. And now I can just focus on, trying to rebuild my life, trying to rebuild other people, trying to, fulfill my purpose, right? Because, now, like, this is the first time, like, for these last 5, 6 years, right? Where, like, I'm clear on what my purpose is, Like, I'm here for God. That's it. And when I'm doing work for God, I
Many,
feel good.
many,
And when
many,
I don't, you know,
many people probably have poured into your life.
yeah, oh yeah, oh
Many
yeah.
people have
And
poured
I try,
into my life. Money, time, prayers. They prayed for us. We don't know what other people have done behind the scenes for us. So the
oh
least we
yeah,
could do is to move forward and continue with the message. And you've said it more in this conversation than I've ever heard you say it before. um, Stephen, is this is the message I will die for. This is the truth that I will die for.
yeah,
I would die for this truth because Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. This
that's
is the
it.
truth, and we know it. That's why it
Yeah,
is so opposed. That's why demons hate it. That's why they'll stand up and screech in your face that it's, you know, they think there's something wrong with us for believing it. That's how, when I meet opposition, it's how I know that I'm on the right path.
yeah. I know it's crazy how like when we start getting like the most beat down or attacked or hated, right? That it's weird that that's the right side of this thing to be on. It's like it gives you confirmation, right? That everything is the way Jesus said it was, but like why is the truth and in real love and real concern like the enemy of this world? Like, you know what I mean? Like why would that be hated so much? It baffles me because I couldn't imagine if someone came to me with like this type of message, right? Where there was relief and they could show me like proof and evidence for it. Like I would be so excited to hear it. And some people that's the last thing they want to hear.
There, there, you said it. It reminds me now. That's my problem with churchianity. I
Yeah.
have tried to go to different churches and try to fit in at different churches. Now, there was a church that I went to back in 2010. Some might recognize it, some might not. But it was a mega church in Ohio, Rod Parsley, World Harvest Church. I was a member there, and it there was a couple of ladies there that God used to, just save my life, to, keep me moving forward. It was during those years that my marriage was just falling apart. My husband and I were just, I felt that we had come to a place where it was irreconcilable. My heart had just, he had broken my heart. And I felt like a zombie. God healed me. It was unbelievable. I had been a prescription drug addict for about 9.5 years. I
Yeah,
had to go in Ohio when you have pain issues. You can't just go to your family doctor. Your family doctor sends you to a pain clinic
that's
where,
right.
once a month you go see your family doctor, then you go see the pain clinic, and then you drug test as soon as you get there, and then they see you. You got to jump through all these hoops, and and I was getting these micro injections right directly into my spine of steroids. And I was on like a half a dozen different kinds of drugs, and plus
Yeah,
the injectable steroid in my back once a month. And uh, I was such a mess. I was such a mess. And my marriage and my life was falling apart. And what my husband was living in Columbus, Ohio, and I was living 3.5 hours away in northeastern Ohio, near Youngstown, Ohio, where I was from,
wow.
because my husband couldn't. It's a long story. In 2008, 2009, we both lost our jobs. He didn't get his job back. I got mine back, so I had to go back to my job. But he couldn't find a job. He's been a tool and die maker all of his life. So he found a job in Columbus, Ohio. And instead of commuting, he rented a hotel room in Columbus, Ohio. Anyway, long story short, on my trip back home on a Sunday to go back home because I had to go to work, my marriage was falling apart, and I just cried out to God. And I wasn't crying out for God to heal my body. I cried out to God to heal my marriage and my family. And by the time I was almost home, and I felt this ton of weight just lift off of me, and I knew my back was healed, and I knew my marriage was going to be okay. And fast forward 11 years later, we're still married. I have not been back to the doctor except to tell him Jesus healed me. I went back to tell the doctor Jesus healed me, and that I didn't need his drugs anymore. I wouldn't be back to see him. And I quit my family doctor, who at that time had already been our family doctor for about 20 years. I told him hasta la vista, and I'll never get back on the doctor treadmill again, ever.
Yeah. And so I'm going to take this time to go ahead and round out and thank you so much for coming on. And it's always great, and I really am grateful that you're able to help me. And I think these shows are going really nice. And I can't
Mm-hmm.
wait to get into the Book of Acts. And I think it's going to be good. And sometimes I like just when people like even when we like pick a topic or something like faith or strength or something like that, and just all post scripture in the chat box and read and try to edify each other. I like that too. But thank you for joining, and I really appreciate it. And I want to tell everybody, God bless you, and praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace, because it's really about him. This is about him. It's his glory. And I mean, just having a way out, right? And a lot of us have similar struggles and similar stories. It's crazy how he picked us. It's like what, you know, it just really does feel funny, doesn't it? But I'm grateful.
Yeah, he picked the
And
lowly things, the
yeah,
foolish things, to confound the wise.
isn't that wonderful? God is so
I'm
good.
I am I would say I'm proudly foolish, but that would be stupid, wouldn't it?
Right. Well,
It
me
would
and my brother, right?
be
Me and my
prideful.
brother, well, me and my brother were talking about being humble the other day, right? And like we were like thinking about how funny it would be if like two people were saying, "Oh, I'm more humble than you," or or like I'm the humblest champion ever. Like that would be so funny, but we're just goofy.
Ah,
But
I love your
anyway,
sense of
so
humor.
I know it's funny. All right, guys, I'll see you later, and well, see you at 7 o'clock tonight. God bless you. Praise Jesus, and pray for